Good morning, everybody. My name is Alessandro, and I'm talking from the office of Europeando in Rome, where today we are glad to show you our webinar concerning the tours of Europeando departing from Rome and Genoa to the center and the south of Italy. With me, we are glad to introduce my colleague Luigi from the Department of Marketing of Europeando as well.
Thank you so much, Alessandro. I'm glad to stay here with you today. And let's start talking about our history. Who is Europeando? Europeando is an Italian tour operator that was born from the passion of traveling about the Laiolo family, the family of our director Bruno Laiolo, which father Dante, Mr. Dante Laiolo, we see in this lovely picture here on the left side, was the one that started to organize the international tours in 1951 for the first time. Its wife, Mrs. Rina, that was sadly recently passed away, was the first woman to organize and to drive herself directly tours all around Italy and Europe in 1962. So he's a big pride of our company. This company that since then has slightly changed, and now we are a modern tour operator that operates in Italy and Europe, doing what? We organize every kind of organized tourism. So we can do the regular tours that will be on which we will be focused in this webinar, but we can arrange and organize any kind of tourism. So I talk about school trips, peregrination, VIP or luxury tours, MICE tours for the business area, and also tailor-made tours that, depending on the needs of our client, we can arrange on the purpose of their will. In this case, we will talk about our regular tours that, as everybody knows, in this period are suffering as we are looking in, worldwide of the spreading of the coronavirus. The COVID, that is an issue that the whole world in this period is bravely facing together. Every government around the world is doing their laws to trying to face the spreading of the virus. The Italian government is as well adapting their laws to counteract the spread of coronavirus in Italy, and depending on the evolution of these laws that our government is doing, we are preparing and adapting our COVID-free protocols that includes several measures that we are going to see right now. For example, related to transports, as we see here in this graphic, we will guarantee the social distancing between the people that is traveling with us. So we'll be left in some empty seats for avoid that people could stay traveling so close one to each other. We will always carry, our staff will always carry personal equipment, has masks, and then we will provide also to our travelers that have to carry as well during all the transports, as well as all the disinfection of the surfaces of the bus in the public place we use will be guaranteed daily. Similar measures to this will be also carried by our partners related to the transport services, as for example, private boats or public ferries, or in the trains by the company in Italy that are, which in the case in which trains are included in our tours. We have also, of course, hotels and other cultural interest services, as museum, for example, that are included in our tours. They have other measures to be followed. As, for example, the plexiglass barriers in the reception to avoid the contact between the people, the public with the staff that as well as ours have surely to carry, to have always the mask and the other protective equipment. You will find in the place like pads on the floor that will show you where to go to find the restaurants, to find the breakfast place or the reception or the elevators or everything you can do in a building that is open to the public. And the last, we have, for example, other measures are also for the air conditioners. If they are replacing or they already have their filters in the air conditioning system with some that is good for this period. So all kind of measures that, as I already saw, depending on the evolution of the laws that our government is proposing, every company here in Italy is adapting to the most updated laws. I invite you for have always an updated idea of what our protocols include to check on our website for have to see our protocol updated. Now, we come to the services that we are providing this period that I thought for this health emergency period. We will start with our safe private tours. This service is very important because it allows you to book our tours with a minimum price difference, with a minimum overprice, and can allow your guests to travel privately. In fact, you can choose the regular tour that is present on our catalog, and then your customer can enjoy exclusively with its family or its friends. So we have started from the idea that the need of safety and hygiene or healthcare in this period will be even more important due of all the coronavirus issue, and due of this, we prepared this service that allows you to travel, allows your customer to travel in the safer way. So our private tours, the same services as a regular tour. You will have for your small group a private vehicle with a private driver, and the same services as a regular tour that is included into the regular itinerary, the safety of traveling privately with just a minimum price difference. Another service that is thought for this period is our safe travel program that is prepared for allow you to manage in an easier way your booking you have with us, and is divided into two different tools. We have Save Your Travel and Save Your Money. Save Your Travel is a flexible booking service that with which our booking department help you through the generation of voucher in case your customer would like to postpone your tours. So we give you the opportunity to have other dates of departure in 2021 or 2022 of the same tour or of a different tour, if in case you would like to change and try something different due of any reason related to the spread of the virus. Related to this, aside of this, we have another service that's called Save Your Money that is non-mandatory but an optionally guarantee fee of €60 per person that protects your customer with 100% refund in case that they will suffer of the spread of the virus. So in case of the lockdown activation in the city or in the country of your customer, so he cannot leave his home to travel, to start its travel, or in case we here in Italy or in Europe, we cannot welcome him because of the activation of the virus, of the lockdown, or last but not least, in case of the travel itself will suffer by the COVID infection or the quarantine activation. So in any of these cases, till 5 days before the departure, we will refund you 100% of the cost, the amount of the services you booked with us. Now, we finally reach our regular tours. We talk about 31 regular tours that are available with departures from Rome, Genoa, and Milan in our Italian territory, and just some territories abroad in the French coast and the Corsica island that belongs to French territory. Are available this departure in 2021 and 2022 guarantee departures divided into two different periods. We have high season departures from April to October and the low season departure in the other months of the year. This tour, the regular tour, has we are proudly defined as a high quality service. That's because of their characteristics that make them different than the general regular tour you find. That's because they have in their itinerary, we have included alternative destinations, as we see. That means that we start from the idea to provide tours that are differently than the other you find to then visit the most known and most common Italian cities, as for example Rome, Florence, or Venice. So this tour, these tours included destinations that are very good because, as we saw before, 30 of them are part of UNESCO World Heritage List. So they are very beautiful places, and allows us to give you the opportunity to visit some of the very beautiful places are included in our Italian heritage. Due to these characteristics, the groups are generally small. In the hike season, we have generally no more than 25-30 participants in our tours, and also we have in the other period even less participants. So we have, for example, 10 or less participants. As you can easily understand, a small group is easier to carry, it's easier to do whatever each kind of services included into the tour, so you can enjoy more and better all the services we can provide you. As for example, and is another characteristic of the tour, the tasting of local products. We have indeed the very good selection of the products among the best local products we have in our food and wine tradition, and we provide you, give you the opportunity to taste during our trips. Finally, our tours are available in two different solutions, two different packets. We have comfort and luxury solution. The difference between the two solutions is that we have in the luxury packet we have 5-star hotel, and in the comfort one we have 4 stars hotel or 3 stars superior hotels. So between the two solutions, the only difference is the category of the hotel we will have included into your tour. But one characteristic that they have in common is they're always centrals. Our idea is to provide central hotels that can allow you to stay in the center of the town without to take any taxi, subway, or any kind of transports to reach the city center. So in the end of your daily journey, you will stay in the center of the town and enjoy the town as well. So finally, we can see here on the map all our tours showed with the different colors. We have tours departing from Rome, and Milan, and Genoa, as I already told you, that are here spread all along the Italian territory, and also on the island of Sardinia, here on the Mediterranean Sea, and French coast and Corsica that belongs to French territory. These tours, as the graphic here shows us, are available as individual. That means we have tour of 5 or 4 days duration that can be combined into them to have a solution of 7 or 8 days longer for have a longer experience between two of these lovely regions. Now we are going to talk about our tour in the center and the south part of Italy. With departure from Rome. I'm talking about the Tuscany, Abruzzo, and Umbria tour in the center, and the Apulia and Calabria in the south of Italy. As we can see here in the map helps us to understand which territories are we talking about. Here in brown, we have the Tuscany tour, the Umbria tour in orange, and the green one is Abruzzo, that are available in 4-day solution departing from Rome. And the last day they come back to Rome as well. And then the yellow one in the south here is the Apulian one, and the gray is the Calabria tour that could be combined between them into 8-day tours that allows you to visit both regions, as well as Abruzzo and Tuscany, Abruzzo and Umbria, and Umbria and Tuscany together can be visited with a combined tour of 7 days. Now we'll be see them in a detailed way. Let's start from the Tuscan tour, as it is a lovely picture of the countryside of Tuscany show us. We will be most focused in another aspects of the general known of this lovely region. Tuscany is one of the most known Italian regions out abroad in the other countries do have the presence of cities as Florence or Pisa that are famous worldwide for their beautiness and for being amazing tourist destinations. To follow our meaning, to our will, to let with our tour discover alternative destination, we visit other destinations. So we not visit none of these two famous cities, but we are most focused on our medieval character towns we have in all along the territory of Tuscany. We sleep in this hotel. In this tour, we have the accommodation in the city of Siena, which is another great and famous city of Tuscany. And it is as well part of the UNESCO World Heritage List because of its beautiness and cultural importance. It's a tour that is available in both comfort and luxury option, luxury solution, with a duration of 5 days and 3 nights that operates, as here we can see on the left side, from February to December, so in both high and low season. Let's start looking a bit of our itinerary. Let's start from Tivoli, that as we can see here with on the screen, is this lovely town located 30 miles away from Rome, of which we visit the city center. It's pretty famous for the presence of lovely villas, like for example Villa Adriana or Villa Teste, and other elements like, for example, this one is like circular shape that is the Temple of Vesta, of which some other elements of architecture would like to dedicate and celebrate this famous temple. For example, like in London, the Bank of England is like is shaped like this to do as an homage to this important architecture element. After the visit and after a walk in this lovely city center, we move a bit northern to Orvieto. As we can see here, we have this impressive church that is in front of us right now. I'm talking about the Duomo, the famous Duomo dedicated to the Holy Mary of Orvieto, and there is a nice little town. We are now in the region of Umbria, actually, so we are so close to the border with Tuscany. But the town of Orvieto has a very important medieval character, being built up a block of tuff, and then all the towns, the original buildings in the whole town, are built with this red coal stone that is typical of the area, and presents some nice elements in the city too, as well as, like for example, some towers and then all the shops in the center. But surely the most important cultural element is this wonderful Duomo that we can see is one of the most beautiful churches we have in Italy, with this facade that is crazy, and with this mosaic that describes all the life of the Holy Mary. The visit to Orvieto will be also the occasion to try some of the best products of the area. We are in Umbria, as we can see better after. There are so very typical local products that will be delight our lunch break. Then, as I told you, we go to Siena, in which we select for 3 nights. We have the 3 nights accommodation here in the city of Siena. Here we see surely one of the most important elements and the places of this town, that is the Piazza del Campo. Piazza del Campo is famous for host one of the horse race called the Palio, the famous Palio, which in which the different quarters of the city in Siena challenge each other with this original and very famous horse race that is made twice, generally a year, in July and August. Our hotels for both comfort and luxury solution are so near to the square, so then we allow the customer to enjoy our tour and also the city of Siena, sleeping in the very center of the town. We will visit with our tour leader all together the city of Siena in the morning of the day 2, before to go to San Gimignano. San Gimignano that probably is the capital of the medieval character, the medieval buildings here in as town in general in Italy is part of the on the list of the UNESCO World Heritage due of its importance for the way in which they keep their medieval character. Is known as the Manhattan of the Middle Age because here they used to have like 70 towers that each family built for show their as tall as they can, as big as they can, to show their power, their strongness to the other people and to the town itself. Now there are only 13 of them that still stands right now, but the structure of the town remains done in a very old and medieval way. So we have the square, the little square in which there is the wheel with all the that allows the people to take the water that was stored just down the streets. That is linked with the main square of the government building and the Duomo, and then the market square. So all these squares together in this ancient structure, as all the buildings that keep their original structure as well as the towers. Due of all these elements, the city of San Gimignano is part of the very important list of the UNESCO World Heritage. We will have a nicely walk in the town, and then we move to Volterra. That is 40 minutes more or less far from San Gimignano, another town with very, very important medieval character, so similar to San Gimignano for the buildings, for the way in which all the town is constructed and is kept too, which particular elements is to be the city of alabaster. You can find in every corner of the town craft shops and laboratories of alabaster that produce and sell products made by this peculiar element as alabaster. And you can it's also a great idea for something typical and special to bring home as our memory of this lovely tour. In the day 3, we visit a place that is called the Chianti Route. We are talking about these hilly landscapes, it's hilly place divided that is you can find it between the cities of Florence and north and Siena and south. Between the two cities, we have this lovely place characterized for these vineyards that you can find all over this place, in which they produce the famous, maybe the most famous red wine we have in Italy that is called Chianti, which symbol is this lovely black rooster we have on the left side, and you can find in the battles as Chianti classic symbol. We will stop during this journey in the Chianti route in two places, two towns that are called Radda in Chianti and Greve in Chianti, in which we are going to offer you the tasting that is included in this tour of a glass of red wine Chianti. After the Chianti, we are going to Lucca, that is in the north area of Tuscany, famous for being the birthplace of the famous composer Puccini, and also for their Renaissance era medieval walls that they have around the city center. Is a city that have a very interesting city center, very elegant, with elements like this that we can see in the picture. That is the Church of St. Michael of the 13th century. In our last day, in our way to Rome, we will pass for Pienza, that with the whole area in which is located, that is called Val d'Orcia, is on the list of UNESCO World Heritage for the cultural landscapes. So a very interesting and lovely place to visit. We will stop in Pienza and visit this medieval town, very good. And then Montalcino, an area that is famous for the production of a very famous wine as well, this Brunello di Montalcino, and Montepulciano, this other medieval town, very, very interesting. This picture is very famous of the wheel of the town, and then the Duomo and the government building of the town. We are talking about some of the most important medieval places we have in the whole Tuscany. These are the hotels we have in the Siena tour. The Athena Hotel for the comfort package we have. We are at more or less 500 meters from the Duomo, a couple 2,000 meters, 300 meters from the Piazza del Campo, and aside of Piazza del Campo, 200 meters far from the most important square, we have the Grand Hotel Continental for the luxury package, a lovely hotel. As we can see from the window, we are in these narrow streets of the medieval center of Siena. We go in another region in the center of Italy, that is Umbria. As the map helps us to understand, departing from Rome, we visit the center of Italy in this lovely region called Umbria. 4 days long and 3 nights, available as usual in comfort and luxury solution, departing in both high and low season from March to November. This tour is actually a very interesting tour because combined very well cultural with natural elements. With departure from Rome, and our first stop is again Tivoli that we already saw for the Tuscany tour, and then with 83 meters, so that means 270 more or less feet tall. These falls, the Marmore Falls, are the tallest man-made falls in the world. The entrance to these falls is included, as the ticket is included in our tour. Here downhill we have this entrance with a panoramic view, very nice to admire, to enjoy the view of these falls. After the falls, we go to Spoleto, that is this lovely hill in town. We find in the hill over there is an example of the places that here in the whole area used to be linked to the church, the Catholic Church, because here we have the Papal States in the central Italy, of which surely Spoleto was one of the most important places. And they keep elements as, for example, the Albornozian fortress we see here on the left side, that was made by the Cardinal for Albornoz, was a Spanish one, a very powerful man in all the area. And also the city center is quite good with the cathedral with the lovely fresco inside. After the visit of Spoleto, that is this picture show us, is important to understand the landscapes we surround us during our journey between the different places we visit in our itinerary. We reach Assisi, that is one of the most important cities of the area, surely important because of the presence of the 2 important churches, of which we see here one of them, that is the Basilica of St. Francis. St. Francis, that is the patron saint of Italy, and which its basilica, its church, is one of the 6 papal basilica we have in the whole Catholic Church in the world. There are 6 of them, 4 are in Rome and 2 in Assisi, so is an important place for the Catholic Church, and also as a cultural place because together with the other churches of Assisi, is part of the UNESCO World Heritage. We visit this basilica, with this interesting basilica, in the morning of the day 2, before to move to go to Perugia, that is the capital of the region Umbria. Here we see in this lovely picture the famous Corso Vannucci, this pedestrian area in the center of the old town, where we can find any kind of shop of local products. We offer you the product that is included in this tour, that is the tasting of black truffle products, and then we can enjoy the city center. The most important elements of the city center is this palace we see here on the right side, that is the famous Palazzo dei Priori, which they took the name from the priori that were the highest political authority of the Middle Age of the town. that now hosts a museum and a temporary exhibition in their elegant room. After a nice walk in Perugia, we moved to Todi, another classical uphill town typical of Umbria, with nice, lovely elements as, for example, the cathedral of 11th century. On the day 3, we have another important element of nature, or one of the natural elements in the city in our tour, that is the Lake Trasimeno. This lake that is the 4th largest lake in the whole Italy, and actually the largest in the whole center of part of our nation, of our country. We we arrive in Passignano. This is the lovely town we see in the picture, and then take a public ferry from there, from this harbor, to go in the center of the lake, in which we find 3 different islands. We visit the one called Isola Maggiore, which means the major island, if it's not the biggest, but is the only one inhabited, and which we can find this lovely fisherman town from the 14th century, with a castle, with a little church, and full of shops, and with a nice walk aside the lake. After we come back to Passignano, take another way, our vehicle, and go to Gubbio. That is maybe the medieval capital of Umbria, with this lovely palace we see here on the left side. It's called Palazzo dei Consoli, 98 meters tall, with this tower. Is one of the biggest public palace we have in Italy. As you can see, this town is uphill, but here the local government helps us to visit because of the presence of public escalators or elevators as well, that allows us to the place in which we left our vehicle to reach in each level of the town. We have something nice to visit, and we can reach easily with these elevators. I already told you about the Palazzo dei Consoli. We have also the cathedral, which is just behind the next level of the famous palace here. That is a lovely cathedral, and also with a balcony from which you can admire all the town of Gubbio from upside. Then we will have, after the visit, a break for the lunch here in Gubbio that will be surely an occasion to try to taste the famous products of the Umbria region. We already talked about the black truffle products that are already included in our tour as tasting, but also it's good to reminder that here they have a very interesting production of sausages, for example, of boar or other game meat products. So it will be surely interesting to try these products available in Umbria. Our last day in the Umbria tour begins with the visit of Santa Maria degli Angeli. That is this lovely basilica that is, as I already mentioned, is part of the papal basilica in the world for the Catholic Church, and also part of the UNESCO World Heritage List. We can see here on the left side we have this small chapel called Porzioncolo, in which the Saint Francis used to pray, and on which they build up upon this the greatest basilica, very well decorated and so important for its culture and holy importance in the world. After the visit of Santa Maria degli Angeli, we go to Orvieto. We come back to Orvieto, the place that we already saw before, and as we can see now, we already saw from the inside in front of the Duomo. Now we can admire this lovely town from the outside, and as we can see, is located uphill in this lovely valley, located and built up on a block on top, and it has a very interesting medieval center, and it will be the last occasion for our last lunch to try the local products, where they are delicious, of the Umbria production. In our Umbria hotel, sorry. In our Umbria tour, we have the same hotel in the city of Assisi, look very well located. It's 300 meters far from the Basilica of St. Francis. In the same hotel for both comfort and luxury solution. In the luxury one, we have a superior room with a nice view upon the valley. Our next tour and the last tour for the center of Italy is Abruzzo. I left the image on this slide just for show us an important element of the region of Abruzzo. That actually, as we can see, we see a mountain is one of the mountains that are part of Gran Sasso National Park. That's because the territory of Abruzzo is characterized for in its interior a lot of mountains that belongs to the Apennines mountain chain. We have in Italy, our boat is has in the middle, like a spine, this chain, this mountain chain that's called Apennines, that starts from here, from the north, from Liguria region to Calabria in the south. In this region of Abruzzo, we have the highest peak of this mountain chain that are called are part of the Gran Sasso National Park, that are 2,900 something, some meters tall, and so the whole interior of Abruzzo is characterized for having this mountain in the center of divided into 3 different national parks. So mountains that are facing to the sea. So very important and very interesting landscapes we have in Abruzzo. That's also important because of the route or genealogical tourism. That means the tourism of people that would like to come back to visit the place from which their relatives in the other eras, in the previous eras, departure and emigrates from Italy. Because of the high number of people that in the last century emigrates from Abruzzo. Let's see our itinerary that starts with the visit of Sulmona. As we can see here, we are surrounded by mountains, so we are in the middle of this mountain area that I described to you before. This lovely town with that have this aqueduct in the center of the town, together with Tagliacozzo, are part of the league that is called Borghi Più Belli d'Italia, that is the nicest town in Italy, in the whole Italy, and which Tagliacozzo, that is the other stop we made before Sulmona in the morning of the day 1, already in the territory of Abruzzo region, which most important element of the local culture for gastronomic is surely this confetti that we see here on the left side. Confetti that are these lovely almond sweets that are covered with this colored crust made by sugar, with which they are used to prepare these flowers, for example, in this case, or other structure like animals or whatever. So we will offer you the tasting of this very nice and also delicious product that are the confetti. Now we're going to Pescara, in which we sleep for 2 nights. It is a lovely town in front of the sea that was highly bombed in the Second World War, so suffered for this matter, and then was totally rebuilt in some places of the old town. So now we have this modern city in front of the sea with these wide streets full of shops and a nice promenade in front of the sea full of restaurants, in which you can try the Abruzzo local products that are made surely of freshly caught fish dishes, and also due of the bravery of shipping in the interior of Abruzzo. They have a lot of products that are related to this. So very delicious cheeses and the famous arrosticini that are sheep skewers that are typical of the area. In the day 2, we visit an area that is in the south of Pescara. We are talking about the famous Trabocchi coast that is surrounded to like little towns, like for example Ortona, which symbolizes this famous castle, Aragonese castle from 15th century. and we will visit Ortona and then the Trabocchi coast that I already mentioned. It is the Trabocchi. They took the name from this Trabocchi. It is this wood structure that we can see here in the picture. Was generally used to build up for the purpose of the fishing, that now are converted into a lovely restaurant in front of the sea. They have an ancient railway that is now converted into a lovely promenade in front of the sea, in which we will talk, we have a walk and enjoy this lovely and picturesque coastline. The day 3, we go to L'Aquila, that is the capital city of the region Abruzzo. It's a lovely, very important cultural place because of the some elements we find in the city center with a large history. We have, for example, the famous fountain of 99 spots, and the most important element of the city is surely the famous Santa Maria de Colle Maggie church, that is famous because of the rite of the Celestial forgiveness, that can be considered as the ancestor of the Jubilee here, that is still maintained since the 13th century. So a large history of this lovely town. Then we move a bit norther to Teramo, that is another Abruzzo province. We are in a place that is in the middle from the Gran Sasso, from the mountains, and the Adriatic coast, in a place in which they produce a they have an high and very good production of oil and wine. So we will offer you a glass of the local wine during our walk into the city center of Teramo. That presents also some good elements that to be discovered together, as for example the church we see in the picture, that is the cathedral of the 12th century. After our last night in Abruzzo, we go back to the Lazio region, that is closer to Rome, from stopping in Tivoli, that we already saw before. After a visit of the town, we visit the Villa d'Este, that is an UNESCO World Heritage Site, an ancient, very famous villa of the Renaissance era, with these elegant rooms and this famous and beautiful garden that we see in the picture. We include in the tour the entrance in the Villa d'Este with the audio guide in English. After Villa d'Este, we come back in Rome for the ending of this lovely tour. We can see here the hotels we have in Pescara and Teramo. For the comfort package, for the comfort solution, we have a 4-star hotel of a best and western chain in Pescara, and a very lovely hotel, Gran Sasso 3-star superior, in the center of the city of Teramo. That is the same for the luxury solution in Teramo, with a suite with a little spa inside, and in Pescara we have a 4-star hotel with a suite as well for the luxury solution in Pescara. As we have saw, the tour as in individual can be combined between them into a 7-day solution. We can so arrange we have the Umbria and Tuscany available with both the itinerary and services included in Umbria and Tuscany together, as well as Abruzzo and Tuscany or Abruzzo and Umbria, that allows us to visit these lovely regions and discover some of the most beautiful places we have in the central area of Italy. Now, we pass from the center to the south of our lovely country to the Apulia region. We know that Italy is like boot-shaped with a hill. Apulia is the hill. Here we see here in the map, we are talking about this lovely region in the south and the eastern part of our country, that we visited with a 5 days tour and 4 nights, available as usual with comfort and luxury solution, and that operates from late March to November, so in both high and low season. We include in this tour an olive oil and wine tasting and the entrance to Castel del Monte, and now we will see together the itinerary that starts with the visit of Polignano a Mare, this famous place in front of the sea, famous for its beaches, its lovely beaches that we can admire in this picture. And we will have free time for walk around the city center, for also enjoy these great views of the town, with this promenade that is dedicated to Domenico Modugno. In fact, Polignano Mare is the birthplace of this Domenico Modugno, maybe one of the most famous Italian singer of all time, famous for his song Volare, that is famous worldwide. After Polignano Mare, we go to the south, to Lecce, where we are going to stay for 2 nights, the first 2 nights of this tour. Lecce, that is famous as the capital of the Italian Baroque architecture, with elements as, for example, the Santa Croce Church or the Celestine Convent, or the cathedral as well, built with this pietra leccese, this peculiar, like clear stone that is with which is constructed, is built up all the most important places we have here in the city center of Lecce. Lecce, which our hotels are so close to the city center, so our travelers, we can enjoy as well the nightlife of Lecce. It is quite good, and you can try and taste also the local products, as for example the famous pasticciotto, this is the sweet that is delicious, or for example the coffee called caffè leccese that they used to prepare with like on the rocks, like a whisk on the rocks, but with the coffee and some drops of almond milk. That is delicious and typical of the city of Lecce. On the day 2, we visited some places that are these colorful places full of shops with this typical atmosphere, like for example Otranto and Gallipoli, surrounded by this lovely sea that we can see in the image here, that are typical, this atmosphere typical of the southern part of Italy, that are part of Salento sub-region. This is the southern point of the Apulia region, of which Lecce is the capital. After Polignano Mare and Gallipoli, after Otranto, and Gallipoli, we go to Santa Maria di Leuca, that is actually the eastern point of the whole Italian peninsula. We will have a nice walk in the Arbor area together for lunch, and then we go to the place we see here in the right side, that is called Finibus Terre Basilica, Santa Maria di Finibus Terre Basilica, in which the St. Peter come back from the Holy Land. There is a legend that comes there and landed here in Italy, and passing from this place to which is dedicated the whole area. In the day 3, we go back to the north, stopping by in Ostuni, the famous Ostuni, that is this place called the White City due of the color of the buildings that characterize the city center, with the famous for the arches, very elegant and very nice. And then we go to Alberobello, that is the town we see here in the picture, that is famous for the trulli, the presence of the trulli, this iconic stone-made shelters that we can see here in the picture, called trulli, that they used to arrange, to build, to avoid the taxation, the high taxation that they suffered. So due of the trulli was considered as a shelter and not as a house, they can rebuild any time that they would like to do. So due of this reason, they used to build this kind of structure to avoid the tax payment, the tax payment. So for this reason, for the cultural importance they have for the area, the Trulli, the city of Alberobello is part of the UNESCO Heritage List since the 1993. After the visit of Alberobello, we moved to the capital city of Apulia, that is called Bari. Bari, that is like the gateway to the east in Italy. So due of all the trade relations they have among the years, the city center of the town has some influence from other cultures, so very nice, very interesting to visit. We will visit all the city center, and then also our travelers can have the opportunity to visit for their home, because it's very close to the place in which our hotels are located. After the night in Bari, we go to Castel del Monte, that is this lovely castle of the 13th century, built up by the Emperor Frederick II, that carries a lot of secrets with his history due of the histories and the legends upon this the place, is the location, its function, the way in which was aligned with the stars. So a lot of legends that our guide will describe to us. Before, with the same guide, to go to Matera, this lovely town we pass in another region of Italy that's called Basilicata. This lovely town of Matera that presents these dwellings that was carved into the stone in the one that was the canyon of now an ancient river that now is downhill. This canyon that is a side of the town. These caves that are built up in the stone, they're divided into 3 different quarters that are called the Sasso Barisano, Sasso Caveoso, and the Civita uphill, in the top here uphill. And now all these caves are converted into famous and luxury hotels, spa, restaurants, art galleries, and due of the uniqueness of the city, it is very, very important. It's part of the UNESCO World Heritage List, and also used to be in 2019 European Capital for the Culture last year. So a very interesting place that we will visit with the guide, and then we will stay, we will have an overnight for the last night of Apulia tour in Matera. Then on our way to Rome, we will stop in Benevento. That is one example of these cities that are less known but very, very interesting. City constructed, built up on a block of tuff that we can see here in the picture, with of Roman origin that have nice elements, like for example the Trian Arch, and also an amphitheater, very good, very nice, in the city center, as well as the Santa Sofia Cathedral that is part of the UNESCO World Heritage List. Benevento, that is known for some legends, has the cities of witches, as witch, that in Italian is strega, translated in Italian. The strega is one of the most important famous local products, that is a yellow sweet liquor, very good, with which they produce some sweets, and also nice to be tried as dry. So it will be surely an occasion to try this famous and delicious liquor as well. After Benevento, we go back to Rome for ending our tour. In Lecce, Bari, and Matera, we have in the 3 cities 4-star hotels, very well located in the center of the town for the comfort solution, and for luxury one in the 3 cities, 5-star hotel, very nice in the center of the town of Lecce, Bari, and Matera. We pass to another region located in the south of Italy that is called Calabria. We are, as the map shows us, talking about the southwest point of our peninsula. Even also in this case, we have 5 days duration available in comfort and luxury tour, with departures from March to December. And our first stop will be Matera. In this case, the people that is doing the Matera, the Calabria first day, will meet the people that are traveling in the Apulia tour on the day 4th, for meet up together and visit together with guide the city of Matera. And in the same hotels we already saw for the Apulia tour, they will pass the night in their first night in Matera. And then from the day 2, we pass to the Calabrian region. Our first stop is Civita, that we can see here in the picture. We are talking about this lovely town that is located in the middle of a natural area called Pollino National Park, that is the largest national park we have in Italy. So we have this lovely town surrounded by these rock peaks that surround the whole country, the whole town, that is famous to be the capital of the Arbresh ethnic minority that has Albanian origin, that flew from the escaped from the Ottoman invasion in the 15th century. They found a place to live in the whole southern part of Italy, and here we find a lot of towns with these peculiar cultural origins, of which Civita is surely the capital, because they have the museum of their Brescia culture. The houses in the center of the town are built up in the style that is called the Casa Codra houses, that are shaped like a face, that's typical of their culture too as well. After a visit of this lovely town that we can see here on the left side is very nice, because also from here, from uphill, from some balconies, you can admire as well the canyon that is carved into the stone by the river Raganello. So a nice, very nice views that we can we can enjoy from the town. We go to the south and we will stop in Pizzo. That is another lovely town in front of the sea. Here we see the symbol of the town of Pizzo, that is this castle dedicated to Murat, that was the brother-in-law of Napoleon, the French Napoleon, that was killed, inmate and then killed in this that used to be a jail back in the years. And then we will have the opportunity to try some of the local products. For example, the famous tartufo, that is a very, very good ice cream that is shaped like a truffle, with which original taste is chocolate, but is now available in different flavors. There will be surely an occasion to try this lovely and interesting product here during our stop in Pizzo. Then we go to Tropea. As we can see in the picture, is a lovely seaside place that used to be in 2019 the 7th place in the TripAdvisor list for the best beaches in Italy. That has lovely beaches, but also very interesting city center with these narrow streets with balconies in front of the sea. We will sleep a night here, so we can enjoy in both daylight and also during the night for a nice walking. In the day 3, we go back to the north, passing left in the Tyrrhenian Sea and passing to the Ionian one, going to Le Castella, that is this lovely famous town with this, that is one of the most famous symbol of Calabria, actually. It is an original Aragonese defensive fortress in the middle of the sea of the little island that is linked to the land with this little strip over there. We will arrive have a lunch break here in Le Castella and admire all the coastline with a nice walk. After Le Castella, we're passing through the one that is called a very good natural area that is called Sila National Park, that is called the largest wood in Italy. So we're passing through this natural, very, very good panorama place with the lakes and these woods aside of the street, and then we arrive in the afternoon to Cosenza. That is the cultural capital of the whole region, Calabria, with a lovely old town that is uphill with a very interesting cathedral, for example, that is linked, as this picture shows us, is linked to the flat area with these bridges that pass upon the two rivers that crosses and unify them in the city of Cosenza, that are the Crati and Busento rivers. The modern city presents the important presence of a pedestrian area that is called Corso Mazzini, in which a lot of shops and restaurants are located, and it's famous for us the MAB, that is a museum on the open space with with works of artists, for example, like Dalì, De Chirico, and Modigliani as well. Our hotel will be so close to this museum, to this pedestrian area, so it would be an occasion to discover for your own as well the city of Cosenza. Then we will come back to the sea in the day 4, visiting a place that is on the Tyrrhenian Sea again. With, if the weather condition will allow us, we take a private boat like the one we see here in the picture. From here, from Praia Mare, it is a lovely town from the sea. And with the 2 hours long duration private navigation, we discover all this lovely coastline with this that is a natural stone arch called Arco Magno that hosts a beach like earth-shaped, very, very nice inside. And if the weather will not allow us to do it, we will have the same route aside of the coastline with our vehicle, with nice stops for having a nice picture of the whole area. Then we will go to Diamante, that is known as the city of murals. Every year, people from artists from Italy, from other countries, come here to decorate the houses in the narrow streets of the old town. So the final effect is to have these houses decorated, as we can see here in the picture, very, very nice. And then Paola, in which the Basilica of St. Francis of Paola, the patron saint of Calabria, is located. And we will visit this important basilica that is important for its holy and religion importance, as well as its beautiness, because it's surrounded by these woods. So it's very, very nice to visit the whole area. Then we sleep for the last night in Cosenza, come back to Rome, stopping by in Salerno, the capital of the Amalfi coastline, the famous Amalfi coastline. And we will visit the city center of Salerno, that has a very, very interesting old town, and will be the occasion surely to have been our last lunch stop in Calabria tour. We will enjoy some of the products of Campania food, Campania tradition, as for example a pizza or a mozzarella. The hotels that are included into our Calabria tour are in Matera, Tropea, and Cosenza 4-star hotels for the comfort solution. And for the luxury one, we have a nice 5-star hotel in Matera, aside of the Duomo in the city center, and the superior room or junior suite for 4-star hotel in the Tropea and Cosenza. Apulia and Calabria can be combined into them for an 8 days long tour that departing from Rome can allow us to visit both Apulia and Calabria region, stopping by in Matera. Now we pass to the last part of our product, of our regular departures. From Rome and Genoa, we have departures from the islands of Sardinia and Corsica. This tour allows us to visit these lovely highlands. We can see here for the Sardinia tour this great picture that describes us a bit of the environment we can find in this lovely tour. We are talking in Sardinia of the second largest island in the Mediterranean. We are going to visit the northern part of the island, in which the most interesting touristic places are located. In both cases, we have the first and last overnight on the ferry. Departing from Genoa, we will have on the first day with the visit of the Tigullio Gulf with Portofino and Santa Margherita Ligure, that we describe in our Italian Riviera tour in the other video present on our channel on YouTube. And in case we will departure from the tour departures from Rome, we will visit Cerveteri and Civitavecchia. Cerveteri, that is this Etruscan origin place, very good, northern to Rome. In both cases, as I told you, we take this ferry and pass our first overnight while navigating. We include in our tour an interior or external cabin, in both internal for the comfort and luxury solution. We have an exterior cabin, private cabin. The ferries we use are these ferries, very big ferries, as for example cruise ships, in which they carry buses, trucks as well, and they have restaurants on the boat, on the ferry. They have a cinema, they have a game room, they have a television room, a bar that is open for all the night long. So in your free time during the navigation, you can also enjoy the navigation as well. Our arriving in both cases will be at in the morning at around 7:30, 8 in the morning in the harbor of Olbia, and then we'll go forward to Palau, this lovely harbor town in which we pass 2 nights, the first 2 nights of the tour, that is has a nice beach in front of the hotel, nice restaurants and nice shops in the city center, from which departures the ferries to the archipelago of Maddalena. We were going to visit the famous archipelago that has more than 100 islands. We are going to visit the 2 biggest islands of the archipelago that are called Maddalena and Caprera. Caprera is famous for host a museum dedicated to Italian hero Garibaldi that passes his last years here in Caprera and died here in this house as well. Now this house is converted into a museum that for its own the author can describe and visit during our visit of Caprera. Then we pass our lunch in Maddalena Island, that has a lovely town on the island itself, in which we can try the lovely fish dishes we have that are typical of the Sardinia territory, but also the typical other typical products are, for example, the roast suckling pig, or for example the cheeses with made with sheep's milk that are typical of Sardinia. On the day 3, we visit the famous Costa Smeralda. That is one of the most exclusive places that we have for the tourism in Italy. And as the picture show us, we have this building, this lovely town that was built up for the purpose of the tourism, that are aside of lovely beaches in the aside of the towns. We will visit Porto Quattro, Porto Cervo, and Porto Rotondo, that are 3 of these lovely towns. In the day 4, we go on we pass from the western part of Sardinia, even in the north side, visiting the lovely beach of Stintino, La Pavosetta called, this one we see in the pictures, and then the city of Alghero, that has a nice, very nice city center surrounded by walls in front of the sea, as famous as the Coral City, due of the huge production of corals that we can find shops that sell any kind of products made with coral in the town. On the day 5, we visit in the morning 2 lovely towns uphill in front of these bays, in front of the sea, as Castel Sardo and Santa Teresa Gallura. In Santa Teresa, we will have the tasting of a product included in our tour, that is the famous liquor Mirto, that is this wheat liquor famous and typical of Sardinia Island. In case the tour is just an individual tour of Sardinia of 6 days long, after Santa Teresa Gallura, we take the ferry and pass the last overnight in the ferry, as we have done in the first night, and come back in Rome or Genoa. In case this is an image of our hotels, Palau, we have the same hotel in both comfort and the luxury solution. Otherwise, in Alghero, we have a lovely 4-star hotel, the Catalunya one, and a lovely 5-star hotel, the Carlos Quinto, for the luxury solution. In case in which the Sardinia and Corsica tours are combined between them, we have a 7-day long tour that after the Santa Teresa Gallura visit, we take another ferry of that in 15 minutes will lead us in Bonifacio, that is a lovely town in Corsica region that is part of French territory, in which we visit Bonifacio, that is divided into two different sides, this lovely town. The first one uphill is among these lovely cliffs with the great panorama from upside. And then the old town is around the harbor area we see here in this picture, that is in which our hotel are located. After our first night in our night in Bonifacio, in the day 6 we walk along all over the whole territory of Corsica. Our first stop is the capital of Corsica, that is Ajaccio. This the biggest city of Corsica. Famous for being the birthplace of Napoleon, that was born here in Ajaccio, and the house in which he was born now is a museum. So anybody that would like to visit for its own, you can do it in their free time. After the free time for lunch, we left Ajaccio and passing through Corte, that is in the interior, in the internal part of Corsica, surrounded by a nice regional the regional park of Corse, that is a natural area, very good, very interesting, with the mountains tallest than 2,000 meters. So mountains, we have this lovely panorama with mountains aside the town of Corte. There used to be the capital of Corte due of the political work of Pasquale Paoli, that was the most famous inhabitant of Corte. We will describe all these histories during our walking among these lovely and picturesque streets of the town of Corte. Then we will go to Bastia. We are in the north side of Corsica. We have a lovely hotel in front of the sea in Bastia. And in the morning of the day 7, before to take our ferry, we will walk along the city center that, as we can see in the picture, is very elegant and very nice. On day 7, so we take our ferry after the visit of Bastia and come back to Italy, to our peninsula, in both Genoa or Livorno, going back to Rome in case the tour departs from Rome. In Bonifacio and Bastia, we have the same hotels for both solution, comfort and luxury, and the Hotel Madonetta, 3-star superior, but with lovely rooms in Bonifacio, and this amazing Hotel Alivi, 4-star hotel in front of the sea in Bastia, for which we have a suite in both solutions for the luxury pack.
Of course, moreover, all the tours we have talked in this webinar, we also can provide any kind of service pre and post tour. I mean, we can provide accommodation in the hotel where the tour, with all our tour starts, in Milano, in Rome, also in Genoa. And also, if a customer would like to abandon the tour before the end, before coming back to Milan, Rome, or Genoa, we can provide any kind of accommodation in the most important city, Verona, Nice, towns of Sardinia, if the client prefers, for example, to spend some days on holidays on the beach. We can also provide private transfer, so from the beginning when the client arrived to Italy, so an airport transfer, but also transfer for the most important train stations, port, and so on, with private driver for excursions. An excursion that can be actually private or regular in all the Italian tours with a guide in English, so like in Venice, Florence, Naples, Rome, and so on. We can book any kind of entry to the most important museum, archaeological sites like Pompeii, or events like, for example, the Arena in Verona, where there's an important music festival with the opera from June to September, museum like in Turin, Florence, the beautiful archaeological sites of Sicily, and so on. All the information we have talked about can be also used to be mixed with other important places like Rome, Florence, Milan, and Venice, and so on, to make your own tour. So you have just to choose the dates, the period in which you can travel, that destination. We can give you some suggestions. the typology of accommodation from the bed and breakfast to the 5-star luxury hotel, and then the typology of services, local guide, expert guide, just a car with driver, a driver guide speaking English, up to a big bus, a big coach. So that's all we have finished. We suggest you to control all our promotion on our website, europeando.it, and of course, all our social network. Thank you for staying with us, and see you soon at Europeando.
Thank you.